World famous Peter TV. It's been a while. I haven't been out making videos as much. I had some stuff going on with mom. I had to make sure she was set. So, it's funny. You got people out there, right, that seem to think that you're weak minded and you're stupid as an individual. And there are those who they try to play that game. And when they try to play that game with you, they try to put you down. They try to say it's not worth it. They try to make you feel like you're 5 cents on a dollar. They try to make sure that you got nothing. They try to put you under a rock to where you got nothing going on in your life to make you feel worthless. I learned with all the things I got going on, when you work hard for everything you got, and all of a sudden somebody tries to put you down, take you out, make you feel like you are not worth even being alive, that's a problem. That's a big problem because you yourself can only control you. You yourself know what you've been through. You yourself are the one that's going to make it through life. And if you don't make it through life, what's going to end up happening is going to backfire on you. For a white man, people try to knock me down. People have always tried to say you ain't going to make it. People try to say you're going to go out, think you get everything handed to them on a platter. For a black man, they do the opposite. For a black man, they try to knock down the black man. They try to make the black man feel like he ain't worth it. They try to make it still, to this day, we got issues in America. There are people that still think that there is slavery shit going on. That people are trying to play on racism to actually make people of color feel like they're second-class citizens. Listen, when did you actually sit there and think in your life that you were going to go through some kind of racism in your life? If you're going through some kind of problem, you live in a different type of neighborhood, you will learn to make it through the storm. But you know what? When you make it through the storm, the problem is that don't let anybody knock you down to feel like you are shit. Okay? There are people out there that will try to make you feel worthless. They do it to me. I'm sure they've done it to you. I'm sure anybody that watches this, any of my African brothers, because I don't look at things one way. I look at things as a unified culture. We're all unified. Everybody's the same. We all came from one race at one time. I believe that shit. I firmly believe that we all came from one race. I firmly believe, and I don't want to say we came from apes. That's a bunch of shit. We didn't come from apes. No. We got put on this earth. We got created. When we got created to make mistakes. We got created to go up and down. We got created to do the right thing, the wrong thing, and everything else. But when it comes down to the end of the world, the $1 million question you got to ask: when did one individual become better than another individual? They didn't. One individual is not better than another individual. One individual that's out there can be just as equal as any other individual. And although racism does go on in the United States today, it is a problem because nobody has stepped up to the plate and said, you know what, let's all unify together. See, I look at it like this. We're all one. We're all one. Okay? I ain't no better than you. You ain't no better than me. We ain't no better than nobody else. Whether you got money or no money, you should be happy with what you go out the door with. You should be happy putting that money in your pocket. If it's 4 cents, when did you think you became better than somebody else? Because if you think you're better than the next man next to you, think twice, because they could have been in the same boat you're in today. Well, yeah, it's alive if you let it be alive. If you're a real G and a real homie and a real girl and a real gangster girl, let me tell you something. Because there are gangsters that watch this. There's real homies that watch this. There's real people that watch this. And when you watch this, you'll understand where I'm going with this. We're all one. We is all one. Everybody is equal. I am not better than you. You are not better than me. You know what? When you wake up tomorrow, you can wake up and breathe air. If you can wake up and breathe air, you get to the next day. If you can wake up and breathe air, count that as a blessing from God. It doesn't make the brother next to you think that all of a sudden he's better than you, because he ain't. He ain't better than you. You might think he's better than you. You might think you're one better than him. But in reality, you're as equal to him as anybody else. Here's something you got to understand. And this is real talk. I took 23andMe. I knew I was growing up. I was Italian, Sicilian, English, Irish, and Indian. 23andMe came back with one more. You know what that one more was? East African. Now I look white as shit. But somewhere in my body, in my blood, in my bloodline, from God knows how many ancestors back, I remember seeing a picture of this lady shot about the 1850s. I didn't know who this lady was, but it was an old little black lady in the thing. But she had a Sicilian nose from Sicily. That was my great-grandmother's grandmother. I'm going to say it again. That was my great-grandmother's grandmother, which would be my it'd be my great-great-great-grandmother. So three or four great-grandmothers back, if I said it right, because I'm not thinking 100% correctly here. 3 great-grandmothers back, my grandmother was black. Real facts. Straight facts, real facts. In fact, I learned that from my aunt, who was alive at 96 years old, who told me you had great-grandma's grandma was black. I didn't know I had black relatives. When you're Sicilian, real Sicilians, because there's black Sicilians. If you don't ever notice, any black person ever says they're Sicilian, don't laugh at them. They're dead serious, okay? There are black Sicilians and there are white Sicilians, okay? There are Italian Sicilians, but when you're Sicilian, Sicily was the slave island. For those that don't know, that's real facts. That's 100, a whole stack right there. It's real track. Look it up on Google. Sicily was the slave island. In Sicily, if Sicily was the slave island, if you were an Italian man and you made it with a black woman and you had a baby, in Africa, those people that were in Africa, you were not allowed to date out of your race back then. You were put on an island called Sicily, which is the shame island. You were shamed out of your heritage. You were shamed out of the country you lived in. You could not walk around your neighborhood back then in the 1800s or 1700s saying, this is my child and my child, because if you didn't match, if your skin color didn't match and your child was lighter or Italian looking back then, okay, you got put on the island of Sicily if they found out you were dating or having sex out of race. That's real shit. That's real. Okay? Same thing as if a black woman worked on the Italian farms and the black man got the white man, the Italian guy, mated with a black woman. And that black woman got pregnant. Or should I say it a little differently? If a white woman, Italian, was on the farm and the husband was away too long and she had sex with a black man, when she had sex with that black man, if she got pregnant and that child was out of race, that child got actually 100%. If that child was out of race in Italy 150 years ago, you were put on the island of Sicily. You were shamed by your country. You were shamed by your community. That's what the island of Sicily was about. The island of Sicily was a slave island. That's real. Now, the moral of the story is this. You can look at me and say, this guy white as shit. Reality, there's a black bloodline that runs through my body. That's real. My mother is Sicilian. My mother's also Italian. My grandmother was Italian. My grandfather was Sicilian. My great-grandmother was Sicilian. My grandmother, mother, which would be my great grandmother's grandmother, was a black lady. That's real. So when did somebody become more equal than somebody else? You want to talk about racism? You know, when I was younger, I was ignorant. And I didn't stand up for people I should have stood up for. You know what? I apologize. I'm a man. I made a mistake. But at the same time, I learned from that mistake. And I learned to be a better human being for it. And when somebody goes and talks about yo this and yo that, starts dropping N bombs and N this and N that, because we all know where I'm going with this. It ain't like homie G, what's up, nigga? How you doing? It ain't like that. When someone goes out and says, these niggers here, and I'm going to be direct, no disrespect on what I just said, because I got the pass. That's a different story. All I'm saying is this. When you say it, and you say it derogatory, as slang, as I said it, that's disrespectful. When you have homies that are homies that you can say, "Yo, this is my nigga, what's up?" It's a whole different way of saying it. But you know, in the reality, if you say it in front of the wrong type of person, you're now disrespectful, and then they want to say that you are racist. But if that's your friend, and you grew up with that kid or that friend, you know what? Is that friend going to look at you as a real friend, or is that friend going to be like, yo, you know what? What's up with white boy? Why is white boy saying it? What's up with this Asian dude? Why is the Asian dude throwing it around? What's up with, like, the Mexican trying to pretend like he's fitting in? It's a respect deal. And although some would call it racist, others will understand where I'm going with it. Because real friends will get accepted. Real people get accepted when they actually have something going on. Real people will say, you know what? Maybe it was just taken out of text, and maybe he's not really being racist. This is why I said we're all one. Everybody should unite. Everybody should unite because nobody is better than nobody else. If you think you're better than somebody else, then you got a problem because you're ignorant. If you got $1 and your friend's got 50 cents, and you guys get a split an ice cream and it's $1.50, why should you get the extra bite over your friend? You shouldn't. You should be accommodating and say, this is my friend, let's split it down the middle because we're equal. See, I don't think you know where I'm going. I'm going to tell you something. My topic or what I put out there, you can make it through the storm. You can sometimes make it through the storm, but sometimes the storm can't make it through you. I'm going to tell you something. If you're trying to climb through the storm and you're trying to be equal along with everybody else and you're trying to keep things unified and your best friend, it don't matter what color that best friend is, if your best friend is by your side, you've made it through the storm. But you're not going to make it through the storm when you go out the door and you pretend like this is my best friend, only to head and throw them under the bus. Because now you're a scumbag and you're a loser. Look at it like this. You both wake up and breathe the same exact air. Can you breathe the same exact air in the same room and get along? Sure. But when you breathe somebody else's air, get in their face, try to take them down, try to tear them down to where they're no longer important, and you think you're better than them, you're ignorant just as badly as they are. And at one point in my life, I was ignorant. And then I realized I was being ignorant. And I changed my ways of thinking. So I apologize if I came across ignorant to anybody that knows me that's watched my shit. But I'll tell you it straight. If you keep it a whole stack with yourself, you can keep it a whole stack with everybody. If you can wake up and breathe air yourself, you can breathe the same air with anybody else. And when you're able to breathe the air along right next to your buddy, no matter what their race is, you can be unified to know that that will be your real friend. And even if you know somebody a minute, a day, a year, if that person's willing to stand next to you and defend you, or defend who you are, or defend your race, or defend the person that they know you as of for that moment, you know what? That's keeping it a whole stack, and that's keeping it real. Always, always stay true to yourself. Always stay true to yourself. Because if you stay true to yourself, you can make it through the storm. Like, comment, and subscribe. World famous Medford Peter. You're watching World Famous Peter TV. Talk to you all later because I'm back. And although I'm on the road, I don't recommend this for anybody, but I'm an expert. And there'll be a lot more to come. You guys have a good day. Like, comment, subscribe. You wonder why I do this? Because I'm the guy that's going to put out the real facts of the way it is. And when you are friends with a lot of people like I am, the friends that you have, you'll appreciate those friends no matter what race or color they are. Shout out to the real ones. Like, comment, subscribe.